Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. As inflation brings the middle class to its knees, we are the reaction. Because we are the freeloaders, and we're not taking this lying down. My mission is to grind enough risk-free money to buy a crack house, all cash. And then I'm going to turn that crack house into a gold mine by renting to Section 8 tenants. In other words, I'm investing in the idea that poverty in America will only get worse. We've got starving children out there, and I don't want to be one of them, so let's get grinding. I invite you to join me on this noble mission by hanging out in our 100% free Discord, link in the description. Up to this point in the Freeloader Challenge, I cleaned up my accounting and accumulated a flat $8,000. There are some crack houses you can buy for $8 grand, but even getting to the property without getting carjacked would be an additional challenge. I'm going to need more money, and that means a lot more freeloading, so let's get to work. If we're gonna buy a crack house with freeloaded cash, then we've gotta go to where the free money hangs out, and get paid to sites are some of the easiest ways to get your money to reproduce. If an app wants to hand me even $30 for using it, then I will have already outperformed every dropshipping guru and print-on-demand YouTuber on the internet. I started off on Freecash.com, and my perusal showed me that Capital One is out of their minds, because they're willing to give me $12.50 to download some bitch-ass app and add a Safari extension that I can just delete 5 minutes later. So I've downloaded that one, and now it wants me to approve of the extension that's going to compare prices when I'm shopping on my phone. Alright, no issue there, let's approve that one. Looking at the Capital One app itself, I think this might actually be useful in the future, and I get a $10 gift card, so I'm not going to delete the app after all. But the extension has still got to go. After about 5 minutes, I got the $12.50 reward pending in my account, and that's going to put me in 720th place on the leaderboard, along with all the other people that did the Capital One offer today. That leaderboard's going to give me another 70-ish cents, so it's going to put me just over $13 in about 5 minutes worth of work. That earning is also making me eligible for login bonuses each day, so in total about $16 over the next 30 days. That went really well, so I was feeling motivated, and the next day I came back to Freecash and saw these offers for High Five and Pulse casinos. Keep those in mind for later in the video. But what caught my eye next was this ARC 7 offer. I had never heard of ARC 7 before, but I'll get a $58 payout if I spend $20 in the app. When I looked at ARC 7, it pretty much looks like you're pooling your money with other investors who are going to buy shares of an LLC that's designed just to own this one piece of property. I'm skeptical up front because usually you would have to be an accredited investor to do something like this. But this is also interesting to me because this could be my first taste of victory if they're buying crack houses. I owe it to myself to check this out. I have to spend $20 on this website to get the $58 reward from Freecash, but it looks like the $20 a share houses are already sold out. That leaves me with this $100 option. That's way more than I wanted to spend on this website. But at the same time, this house is in Alexandria, Virginia, which is driving distance from where I live. I'm tempted to actually just go check out the house. But in the meantime, let's do some map recon. I was hoping that this house would be closer to Old Town, because that would be a really good investment. But this one is actually closer to the airport. This looks like poverty line housing, maybe very lower middle class. We've got a low chain link fence around a car dealership, Baptist church, firmly lower middle class, and a neighborhood health center with free walk-in HIV testing on Friday afternoons. Guys, I like what I'm seeing. All right, I like what I'm seeing. This is exactly the type of real estate that I have in mind for the Freeloader Challenge. $100 is more than I wanted to put into this, but I'm already getting 58 back, so let's go for it. Here's some stats on the house. Bloated acquisition costs, no surprise. Bad schools, right in line with expectations. Great bottom line though, since this is an all cash offer. All right, I'll play. I have no idea what this contract says, so it's a good thing it's only $100. All right, the order is placed, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'll say right now that even though this was interesting, I am in no way abandoning my slumlord ambitions for this crack house ownership loophole. This is just one more asset for the Freeloader Challenge, and I'm still fully committed to buying my own crack house. I got paid out by Freecash quickly, so that puts me at about $73. Even better, if I cash out my Freecash balance to stake.us, I'll get a 30% bonus with no playthrough requirement. Let's call that an even $95, and I got a little bit extra because of their Christmas event. With very little effort, the Freecash rewards are already stacking up. I strongly recommend that other freeloaders get in on this. Although Freecash is not sponsoring this video, I have an affiliate link in the description that will give you a bonus when you sign up. Total gain from Freecash is about $95 and a $10 gift card, and I turned that into partial ownership of an Alexandria, Virginia townhouse. I guess I'll look forward to my minuscule monthly rent payment for owning 1/3300th of this house. But just as importantly, I get a taste of what crack-induced victory can be like. One man's junk is another man's freeloader income. The value of dumpster diving should not be underestimated. I've attempted dumpster diving in two ways. First, I imagined myself as an impoverished peasant and scavenged grocery store dumpsters for food. It is amazing what gets thrown out, and I did indeed find some things like cookies and pastries that you could eat if you were starving and destitute. Some of the discarded vegetables would also be great for feeding livestock, but the savings would be meager, and eating trash is only worth it if you're absolutely struggling. I also asked a store employee if I could have the food that they intended to discard before it actually reached the dumpster, but she said she would get fired and politely declined. I clearly have no riz. But in any case, scavenging for food was a waste of time. Total savings was $0. However, the second way was scavenging for treasure, particularly metal. I went on several diving missions over the past few months. The most successful dives were in dumpsters near construction sites, where employees dump leftover building materials. If you can get in their dumpsters while they're installing plumbing and electrical, you can make some serious cash. Aluminum is about 50 cents a pound. Copper varies, but you can get up to $3. And brass is in around $1.50. What I really look for is aluminum armored copper wire, which gives you a great price to weight ratio and is plentiful at construction sites. Results this episode were mixed, with some dives being fruitful and some being a waste of time.
But a big ticket trick was revealed when my HVAC got replaced. The worker sold my old broken HVAC to a scrapper right in front of me. Apparently that was in the contract I signed. I started feeling a little nettled, and we worked it out that he'd help me out in the future. The next day, he gave me a call and said that there might be an old HVAC at a particular place, and felt like someone should go get it. I ended up picking up a broken HVAC behind an apartment building's dumpster and stripped it down. I took a lot of time gutting it, and it worked out to about $100. But almost all of that was just the radiator and this motor thing, which I ripped out in the first 2 minutes. The other 45 minutes I spent picking the bones off of this HVAC carcass were mostly a waste. If you've got some means of getting your hands on abandoned HVACs, this could be a good side hustle. And if you have construction going on near you, check out the inside of those dumpsters. There could be copper gold. I'm not saying you should spend your Friday nights breaking into construction sites and stealing the copper out of their HVAC. But if there's construction going on near you, don't be afraid to get in the dumpster and find what you can. There's a building near me that's getting refurbished, and when they move on to electrical and plumbing, I am absolutely going to be elbow deep in their dumpsters. Total gain is $167 on 4 dumpster dives and 1 ripped open HVAC. Gambling is one of the least intelligent things you can do with your money. If you gamble, you are exceedingly likely to take a loss, and the longer you gamble, the more likely you are to lose. There's no way around it. That's why I don't gamble. I counter gamble. In the past couple months, I made over $1,700 by counter gambling on these online social casinos, and those numbers pale in comparison to some of the more serious counter gamblers, like Duckington, who bought a car from his counter gambling, or Joke made over $12K. I'm trying to get like these guys. It sounds crazy, sounds like a scam, but let me explain. There are a bunch of online casinos that you've probably heard of. Stake is a well-known one, but these casinos don't want to be legally considered casinos, because then they'd be allowed to operate in far fewer states and with more oversight. So instead, they use a loophole to make themselves a sweepstakes instead of a casino. And that loophole requires that they be free to play. Legally, a sweepstakes has to be free to enter. And in practical terms, that means these casinos have to give you the opportunity to win money for free. If you just stick to grubbing the free stuff, then you are not putting any of your money at risk. You are counter gambling, and the returns pile up. The easiest way for these casinos to qualify as a sweepstakes is to just give users free money every day when they log in.
Most casinos do this, and I'll leave links to those in the description. Some of those links will be my own referrals, and some of them will be of other people that deserve them more than I do. Joomba, Stake, Lucky Land, and Modo are probably the best 4 to start with. Collectively, they'll give you $4 a day just for signing in. That's $124 a month from just those 4 casinos. And if you do all of the casinos with a daily sign-in bonus, then throughout the month you'll collect about $310 for doing basically nothing. That's already enough, and for most people you can just stop right there and you have successfully counter-gambled. But if you do want to go a little bit further, then you'll probably want to grind your VIP on stake until you reach bronze. The best way to reach bronze is over time, you'll want to put about $1,200 into the casino. Play through all $1,200 of sweeps coins and gold coins using dice. As you play through, you'll be building VIP points, and to get to bronze, you should expect to lose about $25. In other words, you're basically gambling away 3.5 weeks of the daily dollars in order to hit the bronze VIP. But those monthly and weekly bonuses over time will pay for themselves. There are better VIP rewards beyond bronze, but you're no longer looking at losing $25 to get there. You're looking at losing hundreds of dollars to get there. You can make the argument that over time it's still worth it, but for a novice, I would recommend just taking those daily dollars, and if you're comfortable with this, then start going further, get that VIP level bronze. There's also what's called rakeback, in which you get a portion of the house edge back every time you lose a wager. You start getting that at VIP bronze, or if you use somebody's referral link. So if you use mine, I'd appreciate it, and you will also get rakeback immediately. Claiming your rakeback periodically will help you level up to bronze just a little bit faster. All this is not going to make you rich, it's not going to buy you a car, but the more seasoned freeloaders on Discord are going a lot further with this. For example, the casinos Pulse and McLuck give you free slot machine spins during live streams. Chumba gives out scratchers, and I've won $100 from these sometimes. For the more advanced people, you can also buy discounted sweeps coins, which are basically casino chips. Play through those and withdraw. You'll almost certainly come out on top. If you hang out on our Discord, you'll get alerts for all of these events. I already made a big stack on this, and I'm committed to going much further. But I also hate gambling. I completely detest the entire concept of casinos. So I am largely immune to the allure of gambling. But if you enjoy gambling, do not put these casinos on your phone. You will lose money and feel like a dumbass. Then you're going to think you're due for a win and then lose even more money. I can't do your thinking for you. Know yourself and only counter gamble if you have the mental fortitude to not give your money back to these casinos. Americans have more credit card debt now than at any other point in history, and borrowing costs are rising too. Your debt is a gold mine for lenders, and they'll go the distance to get you to borrow money from them, up to and including giving you hundreds or even $1,000 to use their credit cards. But we are not your average consumer. We are freeloaders, so we are going to earn these sign-up bonuses without ever carrying a balance. That way, we collect the bonus money without having to give anything back to the bank. To find the best bonuses, doctorofcredit.com is the gold standard for information. You'll consistently find bank and credit card promos that are right for you. For example, over the past couple of months, I did an offer from Chase where I got a $900 statement credit for spending $6,000 in 3 months. At no point did I ever pay interest on that $6,000, so the $900 statement credit is just free money. But Mikey, if you're paying $6,000 to get $900, you're not really making money. You're still down $5,100. Sometimes. But remember, if you're spending $2,000 a month on life anyway, then this $900 is just a rebate. But within the context of the Freeloader Challenge, you would be right. I can't outright spend $6,000 on this challenge and then pretend that getting $900 back is a W. But there are some ways around this. You're spending money without really spending money. I don't really want to get into the details of that on YouTube, but we can talk about that more on Discord. This month, I'm also doing a bank bonus from PNC. Direct deposit $5,000 and get $400 cash. That's an 8% return for doing almost nothing. These bank bonuses are not as good as the credit card bonuses because they're just not as valuable to the bank. But on the positive side, you don't have to do anything other than move your own money around. As for what counts as a direct deposit, well, people try all kinds of things, and Doctor of Credit has a good report on this. But I'm not kidding when I say the easiest way is to get a free employer identification number from the IRS, open up your own business account, and make direct deposits to your own bank accounts. It works every time. It's how you actually are supposed to pay yourself, and you don't have to fool anyone. The only other thing I want to bring up in this section is ZIRP. This is a new kind of fintech bank that offers a hybrid debit credit card. If you fit any of the following categories, then this is a good card for you. 1, you pay student loans. 2, you pay rent. Or 3, you absolutely love Dunkin' Donuts. ZIRP is the only card I've ever heard of that will give you rewards points for paying off your student loans or your rent, and they do it without fees. That way you're getting a small percentage back instead of getting nothing. Zerp also gives you massive rewards points if you redeem as Dunkin' Donuts gift cards. So if you're paying student loans and paying rent and you're just crushing iced coffees from Dunkin' Donuts, then you're gonna absolutely love this card. For everybody else, it's not worth it because you have to pay a $5 a month fee to use it. That fee is more than taken care of if you're paying student loans or rent. But for everybody else, it's not worth it. The referral to Zerp in the description is not mine, it's from another freeloader who deserves it more. Amazon has reshaped the face of commerce over the past 20 years, and the average quality of their listed product is getting worse and worse. But we're going to use a resource to make sure we never overpay for made-in-China junk again, because it knocks the cost of the Amazon purchase down to zero. I've been part of a free Discord server that offers 100% rebates on listed items, and those items cover a very wide variety. In exchange for reviews, or sometimes just to get the sales figures up, sellers that want to promote a product will give you a 100% rebate via PayPal. So you buy the item with your credit card, make a review if required, and then you get refunded via PayPal. In the past couple of months, I got 5 iPhone cases that I intended to sell, 2 iPhone chargers, the last box of COVID masks I will ever purchase, and a custom-made neon sign for my neighbor's kid. The total cost after rebate was $0, and I actually got a couple of credit card points, so technically I made a little bit of money. Remember that my goal for the Freeloader Challenge is to buy a crack house, and having extra iPhone chargers is not going to get me there. But I figure I can sell some of these items at a really low price, and it'll still all be profit. Selling things on Facebook is a lot harder than I expected, but eventually these things will move, and when they do, then I'll be a step closer to my crack house. My warnings about using that server are: 1, don't overdo it. Amazon will block you if you're reviewing items too often, especially if you're giving them all 5 stars. So limit yourself to 2 review items each month. And 2, if the item is complete junk, just send it back. Don't give it a 5-star review, because then you're just tricking other shoppers. Don't sell out your fellow Americans for a garbage Chinese knockoff. Just have the integrity to send the item back and get refunded by Amazon the normal way. The Discord server that runs this doesn't want me to post their link here because then they'll just get flooded. But again, you can find that link on our own Discord. After it's all said and done this episode, I earned $1,700 counter gambling, won 3/300th of the deed to a crack house from Arc 7 via Freecash, $167 cash from dumpster diving, a $900 statement credit from credit card churning, and a handful of trinkets via Amazon. Keeping in mind that the crack house deed isn't entirely liquid, this puts me at $2,867 for the episode. That's a good $10,867 for the whole Freeloader Challenge. I still have a long way to go before I start scouting crack houses, but Pittsburgh has now supplanted Baltimore as the most likely location, because I gotta draw the line somewhere, and I think Baltimore might actually be hopeless. More on that as we get there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to watch the rest of the Freeloader Challenge playlist. I'll see you all on Discord.